So today we're just going to set up 3 trail cameras, just run you through roughly how I do that. So I've had a reasonable stag on the camera here, so I want to find his wallow if we can help it, if we can find it, because that'll be our best chance of shooting him. So we're going to have a wander around and find that. Could turn into a hunting video as well. I bought the gun because when I come to this place quite often with the intent not to shoot, the paddock's covered in deer. So I have bought the gun but don't plan to use it, so if you see it in the video, that's why. But yeah, so we'll roll in here, find where we found him at the end of the game trail, and yeah, follow back, see if we can work out where he's going, find a better spot to try and get in front of him. So with that being said, let's do it. So there's a game trail comes off the paddock here. It's a bit hard to see in the camera, but comes off here, goes round the end of the boundary there, and that's where we've had the camera set up. So the deer's always coming from to the north there and walking down this way. I've followed the creek up. There's no wallow up that way that I could find in about a kilometre. So really not much point going any further up there. So what we're going to do is, where we've had the camera set just down here, he's coming past. I'm going to assume that down here along the creek is where his wallow is. Well, hope it's where it is anyway. So that's what we're going to do there. So yeah, camera's been set up over there. He's been coming along the game trail this way. So yeah, let's follow it in there and see if we can find anything there. This creek bed's dry, but all we'll be doing is following these and hopefully looking for a wet patch where he's been having a roll. Yeah, follow the water. So we found the creek. It's actually really steep banks, so it must get a fair flow through it. But now we'll just follow this along until we can find a spot he can get in, or the feeders, and yeah, hopefully we'll do that. If we get to the main river and we haven't found the wallow, we'll have to reassess. But yeah, that's all we're doing. It's just looking. It's just a game of chance at the moment, but one that's a hell of a lot of fun. Here's a go. There we are. Look at that. There is a wallow, but they're currently not using it, or not using it much. There's quite a few marks around it. A couple of good game trails. One through there which we'll follow, and the one we came on, so we'll follow all those game trails. It's not getting used much though. I don't know if that'll change or what, but we've found one. I'm going to mark it on the GPS so we know where to come back to it and check it. But that's a good start. That's what we're looking for, but one he's actually using. Got 3 cameras. If we don't find anything much good, we'll come back and set one up over this. Find a tree around here and point it at it. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. This just isn't getting used. So we've found this crossing point, which currently isn't getting used either. But you can sort of see, come down, jump across there, down through there, and up through here. If that was getting used, I'd be setting the camera up on that tree right there, which would get all of this. But at the moment, I think we can find something better. But that's exactly what we're looking for. It's a pinch point that would feed all the deer down into here, and we'd set up a tree stand in one of those trees, probably there. Yeah, and just get them, ambush them as they come across. But like I say, currently not getting used, so we'll just look for something a bit better. Starting to find rubs and stuff, which is a good sign that deer have been in the area. That's quite possibly very small though, it's quite low. But here's another one over here. Just giving that a good rubbing as well. Yeah, not new rubs, but giving that a good rubbing up. So probably only a little deer, but still rubs all through here. So this is his spot he's happy to call home. I'll mark this spot too. We'll come back to this. when it's the rut for the fallow deer. Yeah, so it's probably a small sambar spike here. There's a few of them around, but I'll just make absolutely sure of that. Pretty hot to be slogging through the bush today. So we found that wallow back up the top. We're going to put one on that, even though it's not really getting used. We found this crossing here with a wet week coming up. This is where they were crossing. It's not super busy, but it's got a good spot for the camera in that tree there. Sort of looks at it perfectly, so we'll set one up there. Yeah, again, it's not super busy, but hopefully we get enough. The idea is that got them there, and just behind the young fella there's the paddock pasture just there, so hopefully they're just feeding out here just before dark and we can work them out. There's really not a hell of a lot of places to set a tree stand up here, but we'll see what deer we find first, and then we'll sort that out. So here's we're gonna set up one of these King's cameras, and we'll just set this up here facing exactly where we want. And that's it there. Make sure my tag's not flapping in the breeze. So that's it there. That should catch that. That's the idea. So yeah, we'll see. Facing down enough. It'll make the deer look pretty small, but other than that, just make sure it's on, counting down, beautiful. So that's it, that's ready to go. We'll be back in three and a bit weeks, and hopefully got some photos of some good deer crossing. So I've just been crashing through this thick bedding area a bit. Now that, there's been something here throughout the day. It's had a piss. Still no sign of it. But yeah, this is full of beds here, which is interesting. Bit of finding. That's why it's worth doing a bit of reconnaissance on a new place when you start hunting. So just come to this bedding area, just back there's where the wee mark was. Here's where one's been bedded down here for the day. Just there. So another one's been bedded down here for the day. We haven't just kicked those out. Just up there's another couple, so that's interesting to know where they're sleeping. But yeah, so one fallow mob beds down here for the day. So we'll mark this, and then we know to come back here. Be interesting to be able to see this from our tree stand if we could. Yeah, we'll keep going. No point setting a camera up here, I don't think. It's just too thick. So what we've just learned is they're bedding in here. They feed out to this game trail, which comes along here. And if you look back in some of my other videos, we had a camera set up on that tree there, and we'd always get them coming out of there or coming out just a bit lower down there. That all makes sense now, sleeping in there, feeding out to the clear and out that way. So that's a good learning, which is why you set up game cameras, I suppose. That wallow is just back in here, which is where we're going to go and set a camera up now. So we've just come in from the bedding area feeding out. This is the other game trail comes in, and that feeds straight down here. To the wallow. That's currently not getting used much, but we're still going to set a camera up over it and hope that they show up. So we'll work out how to do that now and get it happening. So unfortunately here there's not really a suitable tree because there's the main game trail there and out there, so ideally we want to be about here. So I will bring a star picking in and put it in here, but in the meantime I've just got to find somewhere. I was thinking that tree there, but that's a bit far back, so, and I know we're scenting the area up here, but we've got to try and get, I think those trees there will be our best bet. So we'll clear a bit of a spot, put it there, and hope it doesn't wave around too much. So we'll do that now. So here's what we've come up with. It's not ideal, it's a bit flimsy, but it's sort of the best we can do with what we've got. So gets a pretty good view of that wallow, as well as the game trail coming in. I say it's not being used, but I can only hope over the next month that something decides it's going to use it. So we'll flick this on and we'll get out of here. So last but not least, we're setting one up on this tree where we had it before. Had a look down through that game trail. If you've had a look at my other trail cam videos, it was quite a wide stag come through here. So if we can start getting him a bit more frequently, there's plenty of trees around here for a tree stand, and one will be going in. But for now, we'll set it up here, facing that way. It'd be a good test to see how much better the Bushnells is, if any, than the King's one I'm using. So I'll set it up a bit higher, and we'll leave it for 3 weeks, see how it comes out. So here it is, our last one set up. I'll just give the sensors a bit of a clean. The young fella's just worked out that if we hold this camera in front, we actually can see exactly what we're going to be looking at, which is good, because sometimes you're just a little bit one way or the other and it makes a hell of a difference to your actual photo. So anyway, that's the edge, very edge of the boundary there. That's the corner post. That's where he's been coming from. We'll see if we can get him a bit more frequently. And we'll, if we can, we'll set up a tree stand in probably the tree back there on the property. That's really probably the best one, but we could see him from there and clear a bit of a shooting lane. We'll be able to get him, so that's good. Thanks for watching. That's, like I say, that's just how I do it. So as you can hear from what I've been talking about, had one set here, worked out what they were doing, followed it back. It's a long way of doing it, but I haven't been hunting this property that long, so already now we've worked out why they're coming out of there. The bedding area, found a wallow because we followed the game trails back. When it's winter, we've found a few crossings over this steep creek. It's Australian summer now, so got to wait a few months to get a bit of water in this, but they won't cross where it's deep. They'll cross at those crossings, so we'll be able to set up at those and all start coming together. Now I just need to find the time to actually get out here and have a bit of a hunt. It's been getting better, so yeah, young fella reckons now I started talking, he can hear one up there, so I'm gonna shut up now and we're gonna get out. Remember to hit subscribe and catch you on the next one.